Hi and welcome back. Okay, so in the last part obviously you saw us building the details onto this arm unit. What I'm going to do now is isolate this part here. So I'm just going to go to my layers tab, I'm going to hide everything, and then I'm going to unhide the upper torso and just click the box here so that I know that I'm working on it. Okay, right, now I need to isolate this part here, so I'm just going to right click and isolate selection. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of stuff here that I really need to get rid of anyway, so I'm just going to Control I, hit delete, and those parts will be gone. There we go, and that leaves us with this much plainer piece here. Go to my left viewport, and I'm going to get rid of this. There, and there. There's probably going to be a little bit of tidying up to do, but there usually is. Okay, drop into perspective. Let's see what bits we have actually left. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these. Alright, and I'm going to do some target welding just down here. There we go. And here. So then we're going up here at the top. Just check it out. It looks fine. Now I'm going to close up some of these areas on the top. That way I'm just going to have one big polygon that I need to work on. A bridge there. And then again at the bottom here. Reason being that it's a lot easier just to work with one polygon with only 4 verts to start off with. Okay, now I'm looking for a different shape to the one I had before. Now the shape I had before was nice, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. So just have a quick look at it and see how it fits in with the rest of it, then isolate the selection again. Okay, so the piece we're making is a complete turn away from what we were making before. It's completely different as a model to what we had. So what I'm going to do is find a place to start, and the easiest place really is probably going to be if I just open this out here to here. So I'm just going to bridge it, then I'm going to connect. Now as I've got 2 segments on my connect at the minute, which is accidental, but it's what I wanted, I'm just going to bring that up to about there. Then making sure I've got these 2, I'm just going to hit connect and make sure there's only one segment this time. Okay, let's kill this one off. And this one is really, there's no real animatable parts here. This is all just kind of grunt work, 3D, which is quite a lot of fun. Okay, hinge edge. This is just detailing for the sheer hell of it. 180 degrees, and let's do 12 segments. Just make it nice and smooth. Let's see how that's going to look. I think I'll make it 13 segments. That way I've got 1 on the front there like that. I don't need to convert it to inedible poly, I just need to click OK, delete, select verts, select all, do a quick weld. There. Okay, this is now a single object, which is what I wanted. Right, now down here, I'm going to get rid of all these. Like so. I'm also going to get rid of all these. there. In addition, I'm going to do a cut here up to here. And what I said, when it's actually on a vertex, you see, when it's on an edge, it looks like that. When it's on a vert, it looks like that, if you can look at the cursor, okay? It makes things a little bit easier. Okay, let's trail this back. There. That way we've got this shape, which is a nice shape. Okay, make sure that's open. And we've got two verts in the middle, so I'm just going to backspace and get rid of them, just for the moment. Okay. Next thing I need to do then is apply an Xform not an Xform, sorry. I need to apply a FFD to the front here on these parts. So I'm going to do an FFD 3x3. And just do it by control points. Press F3 so I can see through it a minute. There it is. And lift. Okay, and then convert to editable poly. And see, that gives us a nice smooth shape just there like that. Now then, to be honest, one of the things about this that I'm not a fan of is the actual modelling itself is a bit random in places, but what I mean by that is it's kind of, some of these you see just tend to have detail kind of dropped on top of them without any thought for the way an object's going to look, and it tends to get a bit messy. So we're going to try and avoid that messiness as much as possible while we're doing this. I know you're thinking to yourself, yeah right, this is already looking a bit messy. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Okay, next. I'm going to make a box. And I'm going to use auto grid. I'm going to bring it out from here, right on the very, very edge. To here, and up, like so. And then out, like that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to change segments on it a bit. Need a few segments going this way to give it some shape and definition. Convert to editable poly. Now I'm going to chop it in half, but I'm only working on one side. And I'm just looking at this shape, deciding what the best course of action for it is. Okay, I'm going to do an FFD on the entire thing. Now I've got a 4x4, which gives me a lot more control. Actually, no, I'm not going to use the 4x4. What I'm going to do instead is bring this over. I'm going to bring this across. See if I've got any stray verts hanging around over this side. No, it doesn't appear I have. That's okay. Right. I could probably do with moving the pivot on this. I'll move that down to round about there. Move that up a little bit. There we go. Then I can do a bend on it. Like so. Okay, draw it back in here again. There, that's better. Okay. Make sure that's going all the way to the middle. It seems it is. I can do some changes if I need to. Now I'm going to mirror this. Just copy it. Bring that to about there. I'm going to my top viewport and just make sure I've got it lined up pretty much the same as the other one is. Bring that all the way to the corner there. And there. Okay, jump back into perspective. Okay. Now I'm quite liking it when a plan comes together, so first I'm going to take this and I'm going to reset selected, convert editable poly and flip them normals. Now I'm going to take this and attach this one. Get rid of the two inside polygons. Now then, what I need to do is get these two verts here and here kind of together. So I can just collapse them and they'll go straight into the middle like this. There we go. Next, I'm going to hold shift, making sure this is on a local. Let's bring that up to about there. And then bridge it again. Okay, now I can move this straight up like so. And then I can cap here. Now rather than capping it, I think it's going to be safer to bridge, otherwise it'll cap all those inside polygons as well. So I'll bridge there, turn it around and bridge here. There we go. Okay. Let's look at this shape and make sure it's okay. Yeah, that's fine. So now it's time to use the interactive bridging tool again. And just go and close up these segments a bit. There we go. There's nothing wrong with having lots of rivets, you see, but we also have to add quite a lot more detail if we're doing a more detailed piece like this. Like I say, they tend to be quite messy looking and a bit weird, but it's just part of the way they're built. Okay. Now, this needs to be attached into the rest of this model here. So, what I'm going to do is just click attach. There we are. Now then, what I need to do next thought it crashed for a second there. What I need to do next is start kind of attaching pieces together. So for that to work, I'm going to have to grab here and just do a ring and a connect. Then I'm going to chamfer that nice and wide. Till it's about there. Okay. Now we can target weld. Now just check I haven't got any polygons on the bottom here. I have. We need to get rid of them. Same again over here. There we go. Okay, go to my left viewport and zoom again. This will allow me just to straighten this up a bit. Just change this to my view. There we go. Now the thing I've noticed about this is it really needs to be rotated so it's flat on. So let's look at this. Actually, no, it's not too bad. That should be okay. Okay. See how that's starting to look at the front there? Ah, that's much better. Okay, let's isolate this again. You can see there's a few bent pieces here, but we're going to sort those out. There's another one. There we go. And I'm going to bring this edge here in just a little bit. And here. Okay, that's much better. Now, down here, I want to select here and just do a quick ring. And I'm going to connect up to here as well. And here. Connect, and I'm going to slide it. Just to about there. Click OK. Then what I'm going to do is do another one. Let's do a ring. Do a connect again. And same slide as before is fine. Click OK. Alright. Now I'm going to loop here. I just need these ones, you see. Deselect there and there. And go to my top viewport. And what I want to do is just shift and drag. Just like so. And then I can adjust these manually. It's always good doing things by eye. It may not be the most accurate measuring tool in the world, but it's good at telling you kind of, yeah, that looks okay. And if it looks okay to you, then, you know, chances are it's going to look okay to somebody else. And if it doesn't, then just delete it and do it again. Okay. Now I'm going to bridge here to here, and here to here. It won't let me bridge both at once, of course. Always forget that. There we go. Now I've got a duff polygon just here. So I'm going to delete it. And here. And we can just fill them in again. Just using the cap tool. There we go, that looks better. Also got a duff polygon here. Not here, but I'll delete the pair of them anyway. There. A lot of the time, if you have a broken up polygon, it's a lot easier just to kind of fix them that way. Okay, that looks fine. Now what I need to do is build a piece basically up the top of this. So I'm going to grab here and here, do a quick ring, and then I'm going to do a connect. And just slide it to a position I'm wanting, which I think is probably 0. Click OK. Now over here, I'm going to grab this one, and this one. Actually, no, just this one, I think. No, sorry, I'll grab them both. So that one and that one, and I'm going to extrude them just a tiny bit, and then I'm going to bring them straight up. Okay, now I'm going to delete these inside polygons, here and here. And then I can weld these together. And then it's just a case of welding this one down to here. And over here. There we go. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, next. Let's just have a look at this again. Because I want to bring this part in a little bit, I think. Let's have a look. So I'm going to select all these parts. And then these parts here. Okay. Now I'm going to extrude straight out by local normal. Just a little bit. Just click OK. Or apply even, that'll do. Now deselect these ones. Actually hang on, that was a little bit wrong. Let's there. Now click apply. Then I'll deselect these ones. And just click OK. There, that's nice. Now I'm going to get rid of these two loops. So I can just loop those and backspace. And then it's just a case of getting rid of the extra verts. Get rid of those ones too. There we go. I'll just use the select tool rather than select and move. That way I'm not going to make any mistakes while I'm doing this. Just hit backspace now and again just to clear the ones that I've selected. If I do them in groups like this, then it's less keystrokes, which seems incredibly lazy and probably is, but just the way it is. Now here, you see if you don't get rid of these, then it'll come and bite you in the arse later on down the line when you do your automatic chamfering or anything else you do. Okay, and just backspace. Now you'll notice that we appear to have a missing edge here, so I'll just cut a new one in. There we go. There. That's a much nicer shape already. Now down here then, I'm going to build the basic plate that I'm going to need. So for this to work, I'm just going to temporarily create a polygon, which I'm going to delete again, pretty much immediately. Just hold shift and drag that up. Okay, now I'm going to inset. Now I can get rid of this bit. And just bring that in. And bring this up a little bit. Okay, that looks quite nice. So I'm just going to do a quick extrude on this. I'm not going to bevel the edges or anything because I need to remove the top polygon pretty much immediately. There we go, bring that down like so. There. Okay, next. Just going to grab this part and just bring it in. around about there like that. Now as you can see there's a bit of mess going on that we're going to need to clean up. That's okay. Let's get rid of this, and this, and this, and this. Just check the shape that we have now. Okay, that looks fine. So what I'm going to do now is do a little bit of target welding again. Same as I did last time, really. There you go, and you'll notice that our shape just basically adapts really nicely like so. Okay, now I'm going to grab this loop here. This is my shift tool, just drag it up. Once it gets to about here, I'm just going to flatten it. Use the scale tool on it. Okay, and now we'll just cap that. Alright, that's a much nicer shape so far. Now, we need to put a back on this part here. So, what I'm going to do is just grab this and do a ring. I'll do it again on this side too. There we go. Now, if I do a connect, now if you look, they're going on uneven, so I'll deselect this side and I'll slide this one across first and get it to round about piece I want, which I'd say is going to be about 70. There we go. So that's minus 70. Now if I select this one and do just a ring and then a connect and make the slide on this positive 70, you'll notice that these two obviously marry up, which is what I wanted. Make sure it's all welded. Okay, that's fine. Now what I can do is bridge these together. So, Polygon bridging is just like bridging anything else, just click and bridge. So, we'll use interactive polygon bridging this time. Actually no, we'll just do it the old-fashioned way now I think about it. You'll notice I'm not going to bridge the one at the very, very top, because basically Max will get confused and just think we're trying to bridge one strip to itself. It's very easy to confuse 3ds Max. There we go. Now all I need to do is delete this one and this one and this one, and then I've got see, I thought I deleted that one, but I haven't. Delete it again. Then I've got space for 2 caps. Like that. And you'll notice the shape's closed up nicely. Now down here, obviously I'm going to sink this in a little bit as well, so just going to grab that, bring it down a little bit, and just cap that off. There we go. Alright, that's not too bad. So, what I'm going to do in the next section is add some additional detail to this. See you then.